Hello and welcome to the channel and part 2 of the shelf automatic build. So in front of you is a piece of polystyrene. It's a sheet from Wickes and it cost me £6.50 and it will basically fit the whole of my 6-foot shelf, and I'll have plenty of spare. So I had to break it in half to fit it in the car, but it's not that thick, it's 25mm, but it allows me to add a bit of height and a bit more structure to the layout. So this video will be about adding this to the layout, looking at the wiring a little bit more, and then getting an overall look at how the layout is going to be. So hopefully you enjoy and let's the video start properly. So what I've done off camera is I've cut the polystyrene sheet down to the correct size so it fits the whole of the shelf. So if we're looking, so you can see how high it is, so it's not much, but it just gives me a little bit of depth to the shelf. That's a bit I broke off. So the plan is just to cut it back down the street because it's a little bit long in places, but that's the amount I had spare. So this was £6.50, so you get plenty of it. So basically the bridge will go back in its spot, tracker will go back in its spot, and the idea is I'm going to cut a front bit out, so it looks like the railway sort of on an embankment hill, and then in front I have a road and where I can put all my Oxford die-cast vehicles, but the railway will not be blocked from view. So time to cut and make a mess. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to, with a marker pen, just draw out roughly where I'm going to cut. So I've put the track back on so I don't cut in a place I don't really want to cut. So just rough guide where I'm going to cut. This stuff will cut really easy because it's obviously polystyrene. That's roughly where I'm going to cut, and we'll see how we go. So where the black bit is, so the actual shelf, that's where the road will be, and as you can see I will then have like a hillside and where the railway line will be. Just add a bit of height, a bit of structure to the layout and just make it not so straight and one level. So quite pleased with that, how it's come out. Bit of tidying up to do here and there, and then I'm going to add a little bit of height hopefully to the back of the layout now. So with some of the spare stuff, I'm going to put that at the back, and then I'll have a little car park at the back for the station where I can put a couple more vehicles just to add a bit more interest to the layout. So I'll cut these down and then stick them on as well at some point. So this is how it's looking. As you can see, there's different height to the stations. I just need to cut them down a little bit height wise, but I'm really pleased how these have come out so far. So rough guide, so roughly that's where my car park will be. I can just put a few vehicles. I'll have a hill coming down to the road at the front, and then I'll have a few vehicles down there as well. Only negative side to this is, my god, it's messy. I have made an absolute mess cutting this. So what I've done, I've tried to sort of cut the hillside so it's not straight drop, so try to make it on a slant, but that has just made an absolute mess everywhere. So time to get the hoover out and have a tidy up. So what I did, once I tidied up, I glued the polystyrene down, put some weights on it to keep it down, and left that overnight. So that is hopefully set off, and that will be nice and solid on the layout. And then today's job is to put the electrics back on, and to put them actually through the polystyrene, through the Ikea board, and so to come out the bottom, and then make sure that all works, run a few trains, and that'll be it for this week. So we'll get on with that task. So as you can see, trains are up and running again. I've just put it all back down so I can work out where I need to drill the holes, etc. But it's always rude not to run the trains when you've got a chance. So got the J15 with a couple of GWR four-wheel coaches by Hornby, and you can get a rough idea now how the layout's going. And just double checking that all the points work and everything in the wiring's in the correct position before I start drilling holes. And then on the other line we've got the GWR pannier with an auto coach. You can see that one is a bit more of a rocket ship, so I need to turn the speed down on the controller for that one. But again, it still works, so just need to mark where the holes are going to be. But I'm really pleased so far how these are coming on. So I've marked the holes with a marker pen, and then all I'm going to do is use my drill to go through the top sheet being the polystyrene, and then go through the actual Ikea shelf itself, and then drop the wires into each hole. And that's it. So I've got about 4 or 5 of these to do. That shouldn't take too long. So now it's just a case of putting the dropper wires through. What I'm finding is, because it's got to go through the sheet and then through the Ikea shelf, and the Ikea shelf is quite hollow, so the wiring sort of gets stuck. So what I'm doing, I'm using a piece of metal, so a hook. I'm going to just masking tape the wire to it, and then push that through so the wire comes through, and then just take it off, and then the wire comes through. So handy tip there if anyone's struggling with doing things like this, because I watched this off someone else and it saves a lot of time trying to faff around trying to get a wire through. So I've got 5 of these to do, and all you do is just join the track back up, and then I just need to put all the wiring together. So I'm going to crack on with that, and then that will be the end of that. So that's the first 2 done, and as you can see, fit quite nicely on the layout. And then once that's all ballasted, you won't even see it. So what I've got to do is just join these up, and then put the wiring all back. And now, fast forwarding 5-10 minutes, we're all done. So that's the end of today's video. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed. The next video will be coming up hopefully in a week's time or 2 weeks. It was going to be every 2 weeks, but I think every week is more realistic at the minute. So yeah, there's one of them there. So yeah, and this is just a view of all the wiring underneath. So still needs tidying up, but at least it's underneath the layout now. If you haven't already, subscribe and like the channel so you don't miss out for future videos. But for now, I'm going to leave it there, and hopefully see you in the next one.